Très bien, Legend. We absolutely love having you in the Halo Championship Series. It would not be the same without you. Incredible young man. I think on and off the sticks, to be perfectly honest. And I think Unlocked shows exactly that. Shines a light on our players. I love getting to know their personalities, what they're like, what they're up to, you know, behind the scenes. Absolutely incredible. What an incredible episode of Unlocked. And Legend continuing on in his home major. It has been a little bit rocky, the road, yes, but it's good. Experience, right, for this young man. Experience for the superstar. He's won 2 championships now. He needs to know what it feels like to be on the back foot. And is he capable of pushing through that? I certainly think he is.
Needs a strong word, but they're going to have to do it either way because at this point, they've dug the path that they're going down. And right now, SSG are probably scratching their heads as far as why was that last series so close, but they continue to move forward throughout the bracket, which is the important part. We'll see more from them later on, I'm sure. That elimination bracket run is going to be one for the history books if they're to make these fans happy by the end of the weekend.
I love seeing the relationship with Bound. I also liked the stereotypical turtleneck that Legend was wearing because he is French, of course. So there was that as well as the stardom that Legend has. But moving on, we need to stop talking about Legend right now, even though we love it, and talk about the main stage match that we're going to be seeing, which is a win side of things. So yes, not that, you know, terrifying, a little bit terrifying, but not that terrifying. So no one's going home in this, but they will continue on the winner's side of things. Shopify Rebellion versus Complexity. Again, 2 teams who I think are going to create some noise on that main stage. I don't think this is going to be an absolute whitewash by any means on either side. Shopify Rebellion have been very consistent this season on set. Complexity, though, coming into this tournament feeling like they're one of the teams to be a favorite. I mean, this is insane. We are seeing some incredible magic happen on this main stage. Do you think Cole are ready for Shopify?
I think Cole are ready for anyone. How they played yesterday and how they've been playing so far today. I think they are very excited to just play Halo. They don't mind who's going up against them on the other side of the stage. They just want to get into those games and keep this momentum going. It's been a fantastic run for them, and when we were on the desk yesterday, I was saying, like, it's a surprise to me, for sure, because there hasn't been many good things to talk about for Complexity this season, but the return of Rayne, a little bit more practice under their belt, and maybe some favorable conditions means that they are now in this position where they can go on this potentially crazy run and get their best placement of the season, and the perfect time to do it is in the final major of the season with the Halo World Championship just around the corner.
It certainly is, and we're seeing very similar stories in terms of their runs here in Salt Lake. They're both 4-0 clearly in the winner side of things, but 12-2 for Cole and 12-4 for Shopify Rebellion. That tells me Complexity have got it done cleaner this time around so far. We're looking at the series layout. Things do kind of tend to go in Shopify Rebellion's favor, but that is just in terms of their 2024 records. We're seeing a different Complexity here, Brav.
I mean, we really are. I think everyone's been waiting. Knowing the amount of talent on Complexity, everyone's been waiting to see, is this team going to show up this season, to be frank, at all? And clearly they picked a great time, as Mark was saying, to do just that. They're looking strong. Mark and I got to see a lot of Shopify earlier this weekend as well. We casted their match against Pure, and yeah, excited to see this one kick off.
Well, I'll tell you what, we don't have much time to talk about this one. We'll let the play do the talking for us. On set, Brav, it's over to you.
Thank you so much, Lot. And yes, indeed, the main stage action continues here in SLC, and if it's anything to go by from the matches we've seen so far today, then this one should not disappoint either. You have Shopify Rebellion, who came off a big win that we commentated a little bit earlier against Pure, a 3-1 victory in that series. Their next challenge, though, is probably one they didn't see upon the horizon. Complexity have been on a run, and they will want to keep it going here on the main stage.
Yeah, there's no way Shopify expected to find Complexity here at this stage in the bracket, but this will be their opponent, and it could prove to be a pretty difficult one if Complexity keeps the same tricks up their sleeve. Let's not forget they won their pool, and they are ready to take on one of the best in the league. Shopify versus Complexity, we're underway.
There'll be Strongholds recharge to start things off here. It's going to be Complexity who look like they have the upper hand in this opening strat as well. Huss is going to grab that camo. We'll get that player cam fixed for you as well, and he's going to step straight inside of B. So early on here, it'll be Complexity who are scoring. Breakingshot does get taken down, though, so there is an opening, but that's going to be shut down almost immediately by a very, very simple kill.
A few points on the board here on the BC hold coming in for Complexity, and we have to say, it has been an unbelievable weekend of Halo so far at the SSG Major. We hope you've been enjoying. Actually, we know you've been enjoying. Taking his time as Huss will get that easy pick. Try to snap over to batteries. Eventually will be forced to retreat, but unbelievable matches all weekend long. We got a feeling this one's going to be no exception.
Yeah, really good decision there by Huss as well, recognizing that even without numbers, that he could rotate and take the 1v1 over at C, which keeps Complexity scoring here. Now he turns his attention towards capturing B, as he knows that the fights are going down in and around A. Beatdown battle's going to go down. Only going to be one-sided, though. SoulSnipe will get that kill, but he finds himself as last alive, as RyaNoob does on the other side for Complexity.
Yeah, momentary 3 dead. See what they can do off the spawn, but Shopify will now have an opportunity to certainly get on the board. That A is capped quick. They're also working on C. As you can tell, already long haul push coming for Complexity. We'll see if they win this push.
Breakingshot just turns around as well to see if he can deal with SoulSnipe. He can't, though, because a little bit of help comes in cross-map from Suppressed. He's going to turn that first kill into a double himself before falling, but SoulSnipe now looking to push for this triple cap, and it's a great response here. After a little bit of early pressure from Complexity and a few points on the board, now you're starting to see Shopify Rebellion roll.
Oh, good shots as well from SoulSnipe. We'll see if that gets cleaned up at bottom tower. Might be able to get away. Stays alive somehow through additional nade damage as well. We'll see what Breakingshot could do here from bottom middle. Camo about to pop.
Looks like he's trying to play past that camo as well, allowing his teammates to move up from the space that he's created, just stepping into that stronghold, may have given away his position for 2 seconds. Shopify Rebellion turn around and deal with him very quickly, and the camo will go over to the side of Shopify Rebellion. Not only that, the triple cap is about to be locked in. Complexity were 4 dead as well, and the shock rifle for SoulSnipe can be devastating, especially when you put it in the hands of the camo.
I mean, what a swing here. From Shopify, pick up another one. Good damage, and is also going to live to tell the tale. What a run here. It's going to be 4 dead again, and the trip cap will continue, and Shopify indicating why they are the heavy favorite in the series, despite Complexity's success here in Salt Lake.
100 points on the board already. This triple cap is a problem for Complexity. They're trying to break out, they're trying to find kills, but every single time it seems like they step back onto the map off the respawn. The first pick is going the way of Shopify Rebellion, and you can kind of tell how much pressure that Shopify have on the map, because SoulSnipe's not even had to pull the trigger yet. But when he does, he makes it count.
Gonna also push him off the bat. Rayne just trying to dance in between back left and back right bats. Not going to be comfortable for him, as Shopify will reset here. SoulSnipe resetting C, and they will continue scoring.
Trying to flush out Huss as well. You can see he's at the bottom of the tunnel here. Huss will get one. SoulSnipe maybe thinking about playing this snipe and will indeed get the shock rifle off of the map. So Complexity find themselves 2 dead, but might be able to just stifle the scoring for a second as they have a B-C hold here.
Trying to stay alive is Breakingshot under a lot of pressure. He knows that Cykul would suppress, and maybe even more friends might be coming in. However, it's nice presence here around control, so Complexity going to just stack hard and be able to push out. They're scoring once again. It's been a minute since they had, because let's not forget they were up 40-0, and now just like that, they're down by 100.
That triple cap was the difference between the two teams at the moment. When Complexity have been scoring, it's only been that 2 cap, and they will continue to score with an AC hold. So it's kind of been a drip feed of points for Complexity, which means that they have to put together essentially more cycles of kills to keep that score going in their favor. For Shopify Rebellion, it was a minute or so of just complete map domination and kill feed domination, which gives them that lead. However, Complexity starting to find a little bit of slaying for themselves. A couple of kills going their way, and off the back of it, RyaNoob finds himself a camo. Swing and a miss this time. A couple of shots going to miss as well, and Cykul will make him pay. That's 2 for the man who now earns himself a POV.
You just know that RyaNoob wanted more out of that camo. I think anyone, of course, on the Complexity side also wanted more out of that camo. That's unfortunate, as you say. Cykul's able to turn 2, and what felt like, not even what felt like, what was 2 dead for Shopify and RyaNoob with camo, and somehow becomes a triple cap for Shopify.
Those little things just start to multiply. And now Complexity have to fight their way out this triple cap once more. A couple of kills from Huss might make this a little bit easier though. Rayne gonna re-challenge! Cykul will hit the headshot to get a double kill of his own, and now we see the battle for B. Breakingshot will turn it in the favor of Complexity, and we have the 2 cap locked in again. So this time around, Shopify weren't able to punish Complexity in the same way they were with the previous triple cap.
Slays right now 34-30 in favor of Shopify. Now that was actually much heavier earlier. It was 21-14 in slays. So Complexity have done well to bring this back in terms of slays, but still in points down here by 70.
Shopify trying to turn C back into their favor as well. 2 players going to be here, and the Huss is trying to isolate 1 player to try and flush him out. And does some good damage, and actually gets the kill onto Mental as well. It is going to be a reset onto C, and continued scoring now for Shopify Rebellion. 2 dead for them at the moment. Complexity might have a chance to try and turn their attentions towards flipping C, but you got to deal with Cykul, and RyaNoob hit some important shots there. If he loses that one, then they're not going to have a chance to turn in a stronghold over.
Yeah, RyaNoob knows you cannot miss the shot against a player like Cykul. He does well to make sure he doesn't get turned on in that scenario.
Rayne dropping the nade. Gonna get the kill as well. Complexity finding a bit of momentum, but the scoring is still going in the favor of Shopify at this point. AC is their hold. Looks like Complexity are trying to make a play onto C now to try and flip it over, and RyaNoob now has an opportunity to right the wrongs of the previous camo.
Let's see what he can do here now, as you say. A second chance to take advantage of the power-up. B will start to flip. Cykul gets that, so despite, once again, camo hold and even the kill coming in, it's still Shopify scoring.
Rayne gets one in the feed, though. Numbers stacking up. RyaNoob with the chance to hit this headshot and turn A back into their favor. Patiently waits for that player to poke.
It was mental, too. We've seen what that man does with a peek shot.
And now you see Complexity managing to flip A over, so it will be another 2-cap for them. RyaNoob starting to find a little bit of form in this game as well. A couple of headshots, a couple of good individual fights being won. And now it will be Complexity who finally turn a double cap into a 1-1. Now, can they do the same thing that we saw a few moments ago from Shopify Rebellion and really make a run here?
Surely they knew Mental was still there. I was pretty sure the reason the Shrap went down was because they knew there was a player in pipes. I'm surprised they let Mental get away with this. A lot of damage, and he picks up some kills that you think maybe he shouldn't have. 223 to 140 on the board.
Momentary 1v1 on the map here. Cykul going to be closest to a stronghold to try and flip it, though. Complexity trying to flip C. Might not quite have the timing to stop Cykul moving into tower. Some good damage coming in cross-map. Going to slow him down, but Suppressed is going to be there to pick up a double. Complexity find themselves 2 dead. Shopify continue to try and work onto B here and flip it in their favor. But why they do, look at the rotation now coming in from Complexity over A, but they're also going to have to be aware of C because there's a split of resources from Shopify Rebellion, and by doing so, they now will continue scoring. BC is the hold, and they're around 25 points or so away from closing out game 1.
Keep an eye on the kill feed. Suppress is the first to fall. Could be an opportunity for Complexity to start to rally back here and start to work on C, but it is a long road back into the lead.
Ooh, that shot could not have been closer. There's the body, there's another one. He'll be credited with the kill, thanks to the grenade that drops at the feet. And it will be Complexity who continue to score, but it is a shaky situation for them now. No mistakes really left in the tank for them. 233 and rising. Mental will get the kill. And that might be the door shutting on Complexity here. A has been flipped. They're desperately trying to flip over B. The reset won't come in as well. The reset will come in on the side of Shopify, and this triple cap should mean it's game.
Mental hitting some victory 360s here as the time will tick down on the AC hold to finish it out, and that will be game number 1. Shopify Rebellion with a 250 to 156 score. Beautiful objective efficiency out of them. In the end, they also outslay 58 to 52. But really, it's the points on the board that matter.
Yeah, very impressive stuff from Shopify. An element of control it felt like they had for the majority of that game. Even when the double cap went against them and Complexity, just the singular.
Just the Hawaiian version.
Good to keep everyone included.
Yeah.
They never let it get out of hand. They never let the triple cap come in. And even if they were getting double cap themselves, they weren't letting Complexity get a 3 or 4 dead situation off the back of it. They were playing their lives extremely well, managing to just kind of chip away at the kill feed, making sure the numbers got evened up. And then when they did get the opportunity to strike with that triple cap, that was where that first gap really began to extend between the two teams.
It was also very, very interesting. 2 particularly, particular triple caps, harder to say than I thought, that happened.
Tough, this is.
It is a tough job. We're learning actually today just how tough it is, apparently. Tell you what, during that game, 2 separate trip caps were very interesting for the side of Shopify. During each of them, they gained a 7 or more kill advantage as well in the slay department. While trip capping, there were 2 separate opportunities where Complexity had to rally back, being completely outslayed, and they were able to do it. Let's not forget, they were only outslayed by 6. But when you look at the actual final score of that game, not a close one. It's really good objective efficiency and triple cap efficiency from Shopify as well.
Yeah, it never felt like they were on a different page to each other when they had that triple cap as well. They were willing, once a couple of kills went the way of Complexity, just to back up, play mid-map, hold the line, play for the 2 cap and allow respawners to come back in before they started to pressure once again. So just good all-round game plan and game execution from Shopify Rebellion in that game. And when you're looking at the statistics as well, you're looking at some standout players. Cykul, surprise, surprise, he's going to be 16 and 12 in that game, but Mental as well, having a really, really big performance on the side of Shopify Rebellion. He goes 18 and 12.
I mean, what more can you ask for? Especially between those 2 players, like we said, it was only a marginal slay difference in the end, but they went 250 to 156. A very strong game, number 1. We'll take a look at a player from each side here, the rising stars of the squad.
Yeah, you can see the KD's pretty similar here in Salt Lake City for both players. The assists just start to stack up on the side when you look at the KDA for Cykul, and when you look at damage per minute, they're pretty similar as well. Both players having exceptional tournaments. I would say that the man on your screen right now, Cykul, has had an exceptional year. Certainly been a player that's been talked about a lot especially as we've got into the Shopify Rebellion runs late into tournaments. On the other side of things, Breakingshot, his performance yesterday on the main stage was one that a lot of people were talking about.
I mean, like we said, nobody had the pool falling the way that it did for Pool A, but it's been an amazing run for them. We'll see if they can keep it going here in the winners bracket. Shopify Rebellion up 1-0 over Complexity. And next up, we're going to Slayer Solitude.
See what Solitude has in store for us for Complexity. This might be a game type where they can find a little bit of momentum here. We know that they can be one of the most obnoxious Slayer teams to play against, and we have to see what's in the bag of tricks for Complexity when it comes to Solitude. For Shopify Rebellion, it's an opportunity to create a gap in that series score, put themselves up 2-0, and if they can do so, they find themselves on map point.
A spicy opening here. A lot of teams just throwing themselves at the mid. Sometimes you see slower openings, but not in a game 2 between these two squads. Suppress going to be the first player with the camo.
Has information on where Complexity players are as well. He wants this shock rifle, but is he going to get it? The beat down, that's pretty good, but RyaNoob coming off respawn just lifts up to make sure it's traded out. It's going to be 3 dead here for Shopify Rebellion. Tied up at 4-4, but RyaNoob is already flying forward to try and help Huss, but Huss says, I don't need your help. Go and look at those spawners.
And that's exactly what he's going to do. Right now, about to find several players trying to go Cafe de Flowers. Just doesn't get the timing here. Instead, going to try to maybe hold the hotel side angle.
Such a cheeky angle, this, right?
It is, yeah.
A lot of the time, you're going to see players holding angles, more traditional angles. But RyaNoob is, from this angle, trying to catch people off guard. But the problem is, of course, if someone spots you out, it's very difficult to escape from there. And also very low percentage shots to be hit in comparison to maybe just staying over at the snipe side.
You saw him right before the player cam changed, actually. And might have seen RyaNoob throw his head back in frustration there. As you said, was trying to get crafty. As we take a look here. 2 dead for both sides at the moment. Suppress is going to be the one who comes away with the shock in the end as well. It's just 9-8, a 1-kill game.
Suppress also got a thrust to play with as well, so he can be a little bit more aggressive if he wants to be. Ooh, just managed to have a little peek at Breakingshot. Now he's got 2 players flying towards him. Does have a lot of help though, and this is an opportunity maybe to try and out-rotate Complexity. However, Huss is going to be there.
Oh, wow.
And he finds one. Line him up. And knock him down. That's the name of the game here for Suppress. Only finds one, though.
It's going to be insult to injury. Let's not forget, it's RyaNoob who lost that shock earlier, and he knows that that has traded hands once or twice since then, but in terms of the insult to injury, it's him getting caught just before he gets to go drive away. Still, during all of that scuffle, it's 13-12, still a 1-kill game.
It's such a high pace in this game. You see Complexity, it's kind of counterintuitive a lot of the time to how we expect a Complexity team to play. Usually a little bit more slow, usually a little bit more corners, being checked, shall we say, by their opposition teams. But this one's been a super, super high pace from both sides. 16-13, we're starting to see, for the first time in the game, a little bit of a gap open up between the two. It's only 3, make it 4 kills now, as SoulSnipe will find one, and Suppress will find another to keep that gap extending. Now Complexity have to be careful because they're starting to get cycled a little bit here. It's going to be a triple coming in for Suppress. That's 3 members taken down by 1 man.
Beautifully done here from Suppress. Just as you said, it was a 3-kill lead, and that now becomes a 7-kill lead. Very nicely done. Suppress slowly just capitalizes on the damage S1, then makes his way up to S2, and just takes advantage of all the damage that is done by his teammates.
I mean, the crazy thing is Complexity go 3-4 dead, but then Suppress finds himself as last alive. Oh no! Oh no! Someone hit a shot, please! It will be Suppressed, who I think at the 9th shot decided that it's time to finish this battle.
Windmilling on both sides. I thought I felt the breeze actually coming through the venue, and it must have been the same thing that hit everyone on the main stage. A killing spree to end that sequence, however. He's going to be very happy with what he saw there. Still now a 6-kill game at 25-19.
SoulSnipe knows there's someone over here at the snipe tower. It's going to be RyaNoob. Shield's broken. Manages to keep his heart intact though and keep himself alive for a few moments. However, the lift from Rayne will take down SoulSnipe, but he took a little bit of damage from that shock rifle. Well, who can collect it? That's the question here. This is the way back into the game for Complexity. If they can get that shock and start to put it to use, then there's a way back into this for them.
Nice push there from Huss and Breakingshot together in yard. RyaNoob also capitalizes. That means there's 3 dead here. Suppress is your last player for Shopify. And just like that, it's a 2-kill game. RyaNoob with another opportunity to blow the game back open, maybe get his team back in the lead.
Now, what angles does Ryan take this time? SoulSnipe's going to find the first kill, and Cykul's going to find the second, so Ryan now has to just decide to slow things down a little bit and wait for his teammates to get back on the map. Camo coming up as well, and those kills being picked up at just the wrong time for Complexity, because the camo is now completely open for Shopify Rebellion to run top middle, to grab it, and now SoulSnipe has the opportunity to make some plays.
Able to pick off 1, and also only shoots twice selectively to maintain his camo for as long as he can. Eventually, 1v3 is too much, but he's able to at least take down 2 on his way out. Just like that, though, Shopify continues to extend. their lead. RyaNoob wants to slow that down.
Double for Ryan. And the gap starts to close. Still 3 shock rifle shots here for RyaNoob to try and bring the game closer. And if he hits every single one of these, then we pretty much find ourselves at a tie game. Complexity once again just trying to pin them in the back. Ryan's going to find one. Suppressed will cut him down, but is there a trade here for RyaNoob? Mental, couple of grenades going down defensively just to try and play his life, but with those shots being hit, and with the push now coming in from Complexity, we find ourselves all tied up at 30 kills apiece.
All tied up at 30. This is exactly how you want a game 2 to go. These two teams neck and neck, and it's not really a surprise given the runs they've had so far. As Lottie mentioned, both 4-0, of course. SoulSnipe, unbelievable double back there and loop to win a battle that you might think he probably shouldn't have won. Suppress picks up another one and a double, the trade at the end as well. 3 dead momentarily for Shopify, however, still a 1-kill lead.
Just a 1 kill, still separating the two teams. It's been back and forth for the majority of this game. A little bit of a comeback from Complexity in the last few moments, but these kind of 1v1s are the ones that might add up towards the end of this game. Huss will win his, immediately traded out. RyaNoob finds another kill onto Cykul, and that will put us all tied up again. But RyaNoob finds a grenade at the feet of Suppress, and that is going to give Complexity a 1-kill advantage.
This is really a big moment in the game here. We have Snipe coming up. We also have Camo coming up at the 35 kill mark. This could really determine who pulls away here.
A little bit of a Hail Mary nade coming in towards where that shock rifle is going to be spawning. SoulSnipe wins a 1v1. Traded out almost immediately, but the trades are just back and forth, back and forth. Huss in a 1v1 again, but he's going to be Suppressed who wins it this time round. 3 dead for Complexity, which means Suppressed now is rewarded with that camo.
Even a clean 4 dead. RyaNoob's your first spawner. They should have shock. RyaNoob likely has it S1.
They are all trapped.
40 to 38 now. Camo in his hand. Suppressed needs to make a play.
Breakingshot though with that shock rifle. At least gives Complexity a chance to get back on the map. Suppress is going to fly forward though. He finds 1. He turns it into 2. And now he finds himself the shock rifle. Mental will fly through to clean up some remaining members and leftovers from Complexity on the lift, but has the damage been done at this point? 5 kills, the difference between the two teams.
What timing there to get 4 dead right before the camo and the shock pop. Even though they let go of shock for a second, they were able to flood and use the camo to construct a perfect collapse. Up by 6 here, 46 to 40, making 47. A double from Suppressed as well.
19 kills for Suppressed in this game, 19 and 7. The man who usually leads the leaderboards when it comes to kills for his team, he's going to break 20. It's a 20 bomb in a game number 2 in our winners semi-final.
It's huge. He's not done yet. Just dealing damage, not afraid to challenge because they have that type of lead. 48 to 42, only 2 to go for Shopify Rebellion.
Complexity is that moment they're going to look back on, and you highlighted it perfectly, and we'll talk more about it at the end of this game, but certainly easy to hone in on where it all went wrong. Breakingshot will find 1, but it's only 1 more kill required. It will be picked up on the side of Shopify Rebellion, and with a 50 to 43 final score here, they find themselves 2 up in the series and 1 game away from moving even further in that winner's side.
Very strong from Shopify. That's a nervy moment when you're only up by 1 at the 36 mark. You've got shock and camo popping, and really, you're not worried about the battle over them. You're worried about the battle before them, and that's why Shopify was able to not just get the camo, but specifically then collapse on all of Sniper Tower. And when you've got a camo player on S3 as part of that mix, you're going to clean up. Suppressed takes advantage of that. He comes away with the shock. He continues to do damage, and now they've earned themselves a short break. They're up 2-0.
A final stat line of 20 and 9 for Suppressed. Not too shabby whatsoever. When you're looking at assists, when you're looking at damage dealt, you look at Cykul, 11 assists for his team. Mental as well with 9 leading the way. On the other side of things, it was RyaNoob, 15 and 11 for him, who kept Complexity in that game up until those final moments. But it was interesting, right? Because it felt like Complexity, when we're talking about that final camo that came up that kind of decided where this game was going to go, Complexity had the numbers advantage just before it. It was just a couple of kills off of respawn that Shopify Rebellion managed to pick up. Maybe Complexity look back at that and they're like, they're trying to pressure a little bit too much. Maybe they're thinking we could split the spawns here if we get these kills, but unfortunately all it really did was give the numbers opportunity to Shopify Rebellion, and then they could just push across the map because you're thinking about surviving against 4 instead of providing your team with that camo.
Yeah, here's that exact play on the end. Suppressed even, just very nice shots into the LR as well. They will close that one out 50 to 43, as you said. Suppressed going positive 11 in a game that they win by 7. Amazing stuff. Also, big shout out to Cykul. He goes 8 and 11, however, 11 assists as well. he leads the entire game in that category.
Very, very impressive stuff from Shopify Rebellion, and they are starting to look like a team who's extremely well drilled and starting to look like the team that we always talk about as being a great looking team on a Friday and a Saturday, right? And if they can continue this form, maybe they get the opportunity to answer some of those questions that we still have about Sunday. Now, let's look at our series layout. Let's look at what is coming up next. We're heading over to Streets for some oddball. Shopify Rebellion been pretty good at this, but Complexity won't be too sad, I don't think, to see an oddball coming up next.
No, not at all. I think this is going to give Complexity an opportunity to not just be into battles where they can slowly control the game, rotate away, kind of play their slow, methodical game, but also just maybe a chance to breathe, right? You've got 3 rounds of ball, whereas you look at Stronghold's Recharge, no room to breathe. And you saw the way that both teams played it. There's no room to breathe in that Solitude Slayer either. This could provide them maybe a game that's going to give them just a mid-series break, get back into the series, and see if you can get a game on the board.
I mean, it's been a crazy, crazy tournament up until this point, so Complexity maybe are thinking that this is an opportunity for us to get back into the series and start maybe continuing the story that we've seen from the other series, some big comebacks that we've seen, some reverse sweeps that we've seen, some game 5s that have gone right down to the wire. But with how the series is looking at the moment and the momentum that is heavily on the side of Shopify Rebellion, Complexity need to find a new level here, because if they continue to play at the level we've seen, this is looking like a 3-0.
Yeah, people need to remind themselves just what they did yesterday as well as earlier today to get here, right? There's been hard work done by Complexity. They need to lean on that. Take a look at the Slayers here in 2024.
And you can see that it's Shopify Rebellion's story. This is a team that we were talking about before we even fired a bullet here at SLC as being arguably the best team in the league when it comes to those Slayers. 21-7 is a record that anyone would be happy with, especially with we know how we always term the Slayer in a series as the most coin flip of the game types that we do have. So to have that kind of dominance when it comes to Slayer is why they've had so much success in some of those big series that we've been talking about all year long for them. But an opportunity for them, seeing some of those big teams fall down to the elimination bracket a little bit earlier on. We've seen teams being pushed right to the limit. For Shopify Rebellion to really make another great run here, get rid of Complexity, get through this series in a 3-0 fashion, and then start thinking about the big challenge ahead of you.
Exactly. There's a lot more Halo to be played, but these two teams know they're going to need to go through one another if they want to get there. For Complexity, it would be a real change of their season if they're able to continue even further in the winner's bracket. They've already shown up, you could say, in the biggest way they have all year here at Salt Lake. Question is, does that winner's bracket run end here in this 3rd game, or will we see them extend it the distance?
Just as we wait to get into this final, so to say, the next game of the series, potentially the final game of the series, we've been treated to some Halo today, man. Some of the series that we've seen. I mean, it's not just the ones that have been on the main stage as well. I mean, we were sat out watching Cloud9 versus SSG on the main stage. We were watching that game 5. We also had ITB on our screens as well against Sentinels. That was a game 5, and it was almost like a mirror image of what we were seeing on the main stage as well. And it's ITB who come through that series and keep their tournament alive. And then you see Quadrant versus Pure, and you're like, that's good. That's a crazy series. That's going to be a really tight series. And Quadrant, they crush them. And I mean, yesterday, if you would have told me that Quadrant win that series in the way that they had, I would have called you a liar.
Yeah, would not have believed it. This is the type of match, LAN, where so far, every time you see someone else backstage, they say, did you hear what happened on this stage?
Yeah.
Did you hear what happened in this series? And 9 times out of 10, you haven't, because you can't. It's
too many.
Yeah, you can only watch one series at a time, so it's been unbelievable to see the results that have been coming through. Complexity is no exception. They're still trying to upset here, but they will now need to reverse sweep if they want to upset Shopify Rebellion in the winner's bracket.
And for Shopify Rebellion, it's got to be, I think they're going to be very aware of some of the narrative that is around them at the moment, right? Because it has been a great season for them. If you were to give them the opportunity of the results they've had so far this season, at the start of the season, they probably would have said, yeah, we'll be pretty happy with that. Top 3, couple top 4s. But there's more now. That's the expectation. Like, where are they in comparison to your Space Station Gaming, Optic Gaming, FaZe, these tournament winners? And we were talking about how we felt it was the Big 4, but maybe there's a little bit more of a gap than we believed. Are SR able to change that conversation once again in this tournament? We're heading into game number 3 now. We're heading to the street, and we're heading into some oddball. It's a chance for SR to make a statement here on this main stage and close this out in a 3-0 fashion.
Been a dominating performance from them in terms of slays, in terms of damage across these 2 games. They're going to look to continue that at the same exact pace here in this game number 3. Wouldn't be surprised if they pick up where they left off, that they might end this one in 2 rounds. We're underway here. But based on the melees, we might not be underway for long.
Universal sign of, let's try this one again.
Yeah.
But it gives us a little opportunity here while we wait to get this game restarted to kind of continue to talk about this SR story, right? Because, I mean, I want to know your takeaways on it, because we've talked about it a lot in private and elsewhere, and we both have opinions on maybe what is missing for SR on that Sunday. I mean, what is it to you? Because we spoke to the best man about it, the coach, and they're aware of it. They're aware of the situation. I mean, we heard Blaze on the stage as well, speaking to SoulSnipe yesterday about the situation of Sunday and how things feel different for them for whatever reason. I mean, what's your takeaway?
I think it's just simply that. I think just hearing it from SoulSnipe as well, I think it's simply about locking in. I don't think, if you look at their VODs, if you look at the actual matchups and the brackets, it's rarely been a case of, this specific thing is going wrong, or they're failing to win these types of specific Slayers that they normally win against other opponents. I think it's simply a matter of locking in on Sundays. And they're lucky that they've got this event and Worlds still to do it, because I think this season can slip away if they don't figure it out what's going on Sunday.
Have you ever had that experience in your coaching days? Standing behind a team who struggles to, I don't know, just raise their game in a big moment?
I would say the thing that I've seen most often with teams that I've coached, specifically Triggers Down rosters, was we would have really slow starts, which is much easier to fix. We would sometimes go down 2-1 in the first series of the tournament in bracket play against teams that we really shouldn't have been doing that against. That is a much easier thing to fix. It's just a bit of a slow start thing. Maybe you're just not kind of leaning forward and dialed in just yet. That figures itself out as long as you stay, especially in winner's bracket. That figures itself out by the end. I think it's a much bigger conundrum and a tougher problem to solve when you've played great Halo on Friday and Saturday and you rock up on Sunday, presumably great sleep, you're ready to go, you're leaning forward, everything kind of feels good, and then game 1 you drop, game 2 you drop, and I think it starts to become a mental thing too, where you're like, damn it, it's happening again. And I think that's what they've got to look at, is really one game at a time. And don't worry about, I think they need to not worry about Sunday, because everyone's talking about it for good reason, but I don't think you worry about the day. I think you take it one game at a time. You know your game plan on each game type, and you know it versus each opponent in some cases, and that's how you have to focus on it. And I think if they figure that piece out, this could be a different weekend for them.
No bigger time to do it as well, right? SLC, this is a chance for them to get rid of all of that conversation, to prove themselves. Of course, if they get to Sunday, we're kind of getting ahead of ourselves a little bit. We've still got some Halo to play, but the perfect time to start performing on a Sunday is the last major of the year, with Halo World Championships around the corner. And SoulSnipe on your screen, what a crazy run he was involved in. One of the last Halo World Championships, one of the biggest underdog runs that we've ever seen at the Halo World Championships. But now he's not the underdog. Now he is part of a team who's expected to perform on the biggest of stages. For Complexity, what you've seen in these first few games, what do you take it away from what we've seen so far from them? Is it just a difference in feeling, a difference in matchups in comparison to how we saw them playing yesterday?
Yeah, I think it's matchup. I think right now you just see Shopify outplaying them, very simply, outplaying them in a lot of different scenarios. They're being outslayed. And even though you see a lot of maybe really great doubles that are coming in, or players are somehow squeaking out extra damage, it just feels like Shopify is stacking exactly where they need to on the map to take out their opponents.
Well, looks like we're getting pretty close to getting back into the game. By the way, I want to say the crowd out here at SLC has been absolutely phenomenal. It's one of the loudest series I've heard in quite some time. It's very rare that you step out on a Saturday morning and everyone's filling up the seats ready to watch some Halo, and just an absolute packed crowd with people still, getting temporary tattoos. Although we found out...
Yeah, word of warning, semi-permanent.
Semi-permanent.
But they're also great tattoos. Make sure you swing over by the temporary tattoo parlor. Many fantastic Halo and SSG emblems, and as we found out...
team emblems.
What's that?
All of the orbs.
Yep, it's true. Got team emblems. Anything you can want to deck out your tattoo dreams. Also a great looking stage here as well. Big shout out to SSG, all the partners that are here as well in the building. It's been an amazing LAN so far, and very happy to say that, to be honest, we're only about halfway through. There's a lot more Halo tonight yet to be played, as well as, of course, a full championship Sunday ahead of us. And if today was any indicator, there's a lot more surprises in store.
There certainly is. One surprise I had is that when you're on the dance machine, do not do it just after consuming 2 large slices of pepperoni pizza.
Yeah, we went...
I was blowing. I am still feeling
blowing what? Just blowing it. That's it.
It's a phrase. Don't make this weird.
It's a phrase. Head-to-head here between Mental and RyaNoob, veterans of the scene. Different scenes, of course. Mental, newer to the Halo scene, but many, many years of LAN experience and championships in Gears of War. Take a look at these two players in this series specifically.
I'm not letting you get away with that.
Are you still mad at me?
I'm still mad at you. Damage difference you can see between the two players. That's in this series. RyaNoob probably been the standout when it comes to the numbers. It's up to the rest of his team to try and stack up a little bit closer to him. Mental having a really, really good series as well, as you can see on your screen. And then just like that, just like that, maybe
screenshot it.
Maybe a reveal of something to come. Who knows?
That graphic and more still to come in this series. Back to the arcade. We had a fantastic time.
Oh, you want to go back to this conversation?
I do want to go back to this conversation. We were working with the Space Station guys on some fun video content. We didn't know, though, we had lunch first. You had a lot of pizza, I had a lot of tacos, and then we found out we had to play a high-speed, expert-level DDR against each other. And I think we're both still recovering.
We played beginner level, slow speed. But
which was
I
tough.
appreciate you trying to make it sound better than
Which
it
was tough for me.
Yeah.
I'm still reeling.
You okay?
No. Short answer, no, I'm not okay, but we'll figure it out
Hopefully
later
by
on.
tomorrow you get recovered.
Maybe. We'll see.
More cryotherapy for you maybe to try and recover a little bit.
Fist bumps on the stage for the side of Shopify Rebellion.
Looks like we're ready to go again, which is great news for everyone, honestly.
Thank God.
Especially people who've had to listen to us have weird and wonderful conversations. B-Man's ready. B-Man's always ready.
Always ready. Very, very lucky to team with B-Man for a long time. To be honest, was lucky to be part of the conversations when Shopify was searching for their coach draft. B-Man was one of the first ones I think that came to mind, unsurprisingly. Big brain Halo from Best Man. And it's been great performances from this team all year long. But as we were talking about earlier, they want more.
Yeah, they certainly do want more indeed. I was just about to say, it's one of my favorite sights at a Halo event. When I turn up, I walk to the venue. I walk outside to the hotel when I see B-Man there smiling. Always puts you in a good mood. Well, can he be kept in the good mood that he's in right now? Because Shopify Rebellion and the players that he's in charge of are currently 2-0 up in this series, and also 3-0 up when it comes to the Slays. 3 dead for complexity. One player did fall in that little fight coming in from Shopify Rebellion. Immediately they will have the oddball back towards the tram. So a hot start coming in from SR.
Clean opening from them without a doubt. And this is what we said. If they continue to play at the exact pace that we thought they would do exactly that. And they'd be able to bring this game home. Maybe not yet, though.
We'll get back into the game as soon as possible, everyone. We apologize. More so for the fact that you have to listen to us continue the conversations.
RyaNoob going with the left-hand controller, right-hand mouse play. Not easily executed.
Yeah.
If one guy could do it, though, it's RyaNoob.
I was going to say, that's creative. B-Man going with the turquoise stopwatch this time around. You reckon you still know your way around a stopwatch?
I think so. To be honest, my clipboards.
That's where we're at.
Let me tell you, my Halo 2 clipboards were no joke. I mean,
I can only imagine what yours are like. It's like,
oh, can you?
Neurotic man over here.
Yes, my Halo 2 clipboards were, it's one of those clipboards where you open a hatch that has more stuff in it. Very proud of the way that I was able to get timers mounted to this clipboard. Keep in mind, in Halo 2, you were timing a ton of different things on different timers, because that's how difficult that game was. Of course, there was no luxury of in-game timers back in the day. You better have known all of your times for every single weapon. I'll never forget, timing weapons on Halo 2, Beaver Creek. It's a whole different ballgame. Coaches got it easy these days.
Open the hatch for that one.
You had to open a few hatches for that.
Special Beaver Creek hatch. Anyway, this is something we haven't done that you can do if you're here at SLC at the event. 1v1 later.
We actually have not. You're right. We have not 1v1 in cornhole.
We haven't played pickleball either.
We haven't played
to
pickleball.
Prevent injury.
A lot of fun activities here, in addition to a very, very important HCS tournament here as far as the season goes. I think the one thing, Mark, I want to talk about as well with these teams is the fact that sometimes if you think about the years of competitive Halo, there's a time at the end where a team might sneak in to have a huge breakout performance. One that comes to mind, of course, is the Believe the Hype National Championship, where at the end of the year, they fly in and they steal out the championship from underneath everyone. This year feels like we're just ripe for that, right? It's not even a question of, is anyone going to show up in a big way and start to upset? It's like, no. Anyone in the top 8, as you're seeing in this series right here, complexity is maybe the best indication in recent times of this. Anyone in the top 8 can absolutely pop off and take home huge prize, huge prestige at the World Championship. It just feels like that's going to happen.
I feel like it's the most unpredictable Halo World Championship ever.
Yeah.
Like, honestly, and I'm not just talking about who wins the thing. I'm talking about final placements. If you get the top 8 right, you're a genius. Or you're extremely lucky. We'll find out, of course, what's going to happen there. That's going to be in a few weeks' time, but for now we've got to concentrate on the resumption of this series, and it's going to be a very similar start to what we saw a few moments ago with Shopify Rebellion picking up a few kills and also managing to find the oddball.
This time just holding here on Neons. Ooh, red gun coming through, and eventually that red gun damage will play a factor. Cykul might even get away with this, a trade in the end. Huss will be happy with that. However, 4 dead for the side of Shopify Rebellion, which is going to be an opportunity for Complexity to rotate here and get a tram hold going.
Yeah, a little bit of good news for Complexity. Finally just finding a few kills going their way, finding a 4 dead situation, and finding the ball back in the hands of Rayne, who is a player who knows exactly how to deal with that objective. Also, Breakingshot's going to find himself the red gun, which is going to help him output some damage. And there is some of that damage being turned into kills. Another player here for him to deal with on the stairs. He's going to go for the back smack. He's going to find it as well. And Complexity, even though all these kills are going down, SoulSnipe has snuck in, and he's managed to not only kill the up-ball carrier, but also throw that ball out.
Nice job there from Breakingshot. Not an easy push to do up to the balcony. Hits the red gun shots that he needed to, and also cleans it up in the end. The ball, as you saw, though, was played, and in the end, Complexity able to get that ball bottom middle. RyaNoob will be holding.
Rayne will fall. Trade should come in here. Breakingshot now looking for more, and RyaNoob giving him some fantastic support there with that commando to keep the kills stacking up on the side of Complexity. 30-17 the score, as Complexity will grab a little bit more ball time as well. A little bit of a gap starting to develop. Not the chasm you would want if you're Complexity, just to put the pressure back onto SR.
Needs to be careful, wraps around these stairs. You feel like just in time, because there was, as I was about to say, a player pushing PD caution. In the end, somehow Breakingshot lives through all that. So now it's going to be a momentary 3v1. 4 dead on the map for Complexity. Cykul will come away with the camo as well.
Look to see if he can find a spawn kill as well. You can see he's kind of hovering around, checking PD. Nobody to be spotted as yet. SoulSnipe will hold that ball and bring the game within just a few points here. Having not seen those PD spawns by the process of deduction, now he will know there's probably Red Room and Arcade. Suppress is going to find 2, and now it's his time to strike and pick up another easy +1.
Once again, as we said, if Shopify continued exactly what they had done in games 1 and 2, this was going to be a chokehold, the stifling control in this first round. And so far over the past, especially 90 seconds, that's exactly what we've seen. Still 2 dead for Complexity. They will continue to push this advantage. Oh my, Cykul, insult to injury, takes down RyaNoob with the repulse as well.
That was the in-game version of get out of my face. Just repulses him back, hits the headshot, takes him down. 64 points on the board now for Shopify. This has been almost a minute's worth of ball time for them, just stacking up.
Oh. The damage as well. Look at this from Cykul. He's clinical the way he's approaching this, and now he's going to get some help from Suppressed, who picks up both with the red gun. Finally, he's taking down, but guess what? They'll take that every time. Also gets a pancake on Breakingshot. Rayne's the last player from Caution. And look at this. This round's about to be over based on that hold alone.
I mean, Complexity are trying to stack 4 players on every single one of their pushes, but they're just losing the first kill somehow every single time. And SoulSnipe has been the ultimate observer in this game. He's 2-2-2, but he has 100 points almost of ball time. Everybody on Shopify Rebellion is doing their job of holding off these Complexity pushes.
I kind of want SoulSnipe to get the last 3 seconds.
Same.
I don't know if that's just my OCD or if that just feels like it's going to be a nice way to end this one. It would be a stylish way to do it.
I can tell you it's a combination of both. RyaNoob is going to be taken down. SoulSnipe is going to find another one. Cykul adds to his collection, and there's a few extra just to make sure.
He's doing it.
SoulSnipe's there.
Yes! Yes, SoulSnipe will get the last time, and with 100 points on the board for SoulSnipe, he will close out the round, and I cannot tell you the last time I've actually seen 100 points on the board for a single player in a round. That is an unbelievably clinical execution of Oddball on Streets. They now lead 1-0.
That's what it feels like with Dan when he plays with me and Wes. Just hold the Oddball. We'll do the rest. SoulSnipe with the red gun, not going to be able to connect. No, the repulse is going to do some damage, but not enough to take him down. Now Suppress finds it again. Suppress with a triple kill here. And Complexity find themselves reeling once more. This is complete and utter domination of the map here on Streets. Complexity barely been on the map. They had a little run at the start, but apart from that, they've just been in the death screen.
Suppress 11-7 now. As we said, picking up where they left off. He's look at the damage. He almost got away. Finally, he's taken down in the end. Looks like the rotate will be difficult. It probably should be a clean wipe here in the back of the base against SoulSnipe and Cykul, but you can tell they're making it difficult. Very difficult. Shoulda. 3 dead somehow for 4 dead for Complexity, and what felt like a 3v2 in the back of A somehow becomes 4 dead for Complexity.
And all of Complexity squad spawning together again inside a tram. So Suppressed now can push up, he can wait for info, and then he can essentially be the player who's going to pinch in behind where these players come from. However, some grenades. well-placed ones are going to find him. They're going to sniff him out.
Triple positive, by the way, for Cykul here. Just casually going about the game, 12-4.
Huss is going to take on SoulSnipe. A little bit of help is going to come in. Breakingshot will find a double, and finally, Complexity have hold of that oddball, and more importantly, are winning a couple of fights. Rayne's going to find another. Last player alive is going to be Mental now. He's going to be trapped on the arcade. Spawns in and around the red room. Going to be good for his life. But Huss continuing to put in really good damage here for Complexity. Maybe he can just get them going. With a little run like this, Complexity will be back into this round and finally find a foothold in this game.
Yeah, really impressive there from Huss. That's not easy to manage those battles, to isolate yourself against music, to make sure you get the damage there and then stay alive. Also to get the melee on the player who rushed caution. Really nice from Huss. He's a big part of why they're now in the lead by about double in this round.
Just needs to not get carried away with this though. You can see he's trying to put more and more damage down, but in the end he just kind of over challenges a little bit. Falls into the trap of Shopify Rebellion, just waiting to find that pick. And off the back of it now, SoulSnipe has managed to pick up the camo, which is going to make this break a little bit more comfortable for them. 2 kills go the other way, though, and now SoulSnipe has to think about how he plays this.
Doesn't want to shoot just yet, but he has been spotted out by Breakingshot.
Huss will find one, and they will manage to sniff out this camo, and it essentially isn't too effective. Complexity do a really good job. It was the kills just before SoulSnipe was able to engage initially with that camo that made him essentially double think about how he wanted to approach the situation. Had to just play his life a little bit longer, and off the back of it, Complexity and Huss especially managed to just sniff him out and make sure that he wasn't too much of an impactful player in the next few moments. For now, that Breakingshot is trying to output damage. Shopify Rebellion find the kills onto Huss and Breakingshot, and RyaNoob still has that oddball in his hands, but he is going to be last alive now.
RyaNoob finally taken down, but even when they were 2 dead, he was still putting more time on the board. They go all the way to 67 points here.
A little bit of composure, a little bit of resilience being shown here by Complexity. As once again, as a fall, they try and swarm, this time up the driveway. To find a target they can prioritize. Mental with some really good damage though, and more importantly, just managing to keep his shields intact for quite some time there. Finally, he will go down, 2 dead on the side of Shopify Rebellion, but also the same can be said on the other side for Complexity. Oddball's been dropped for a second as Suppress finds his kill. SoulSnipe will find his. And that should be the oddball in a few moments' time being scooped up once again.
Yeah, if that went a different way, they should be able to take out RyaNoob as well. Actually, RyaNoob sneaks out another one, so they will still need to take him down.
RyaNoob is still here. SoulSnipe sends him back again, but no ammo to play with now in the Stalker rifle. Instead, he's going to exchange it, and RyaNoob comes back. Somehow, RyaNoob is still alive.
Unbelievable here from RyaNoob, and you thought he might have been taken down a long time ago. Going to sit on camo for a second. Can he get away? He pops. He will burn in the end, the camo, so that will not be a factor. A great run from RyaNoob. However, still just a 20-point game.
2v2 on the map for now, but respawners coming in over by the tram for Complexity allows Cykul to just move this ball back to his spawners, who are going to be coming in on the opposite side of the map. Suppress trying to cut the angles down. 3 players from Complexity trying to push up that pink streak, push towards that tower. And even though they've been successful in doing so, the ball is still in the hands of Shopify Rebellion. And with that, we essentially now find ourselves with a tie game. Only a couple of points separating the 2 teams.
2v2 RyaNoob, actually last player alive, 4 dead here. And as we said, at the tie game mark, right around 65, you'll probably see Shopify A rotate the ball and B go into a lead.
Really smart from Cykul as well. We saw where his teammates' respawns were coming in. And then from that, was able to deduce where the Complexity spawns were coming in as well, wrapping it all the way back towards Tram and towards his teammates. SoulSnipe manages to get a stick in the feed onto Breakingshot, and now they can re-wrap, knowing that Complexity have got to chase this ball down. SoulSnipe's looking for kills. Front of the base, he knows he's got damage. He's going to get that beat down, and Complexity at the moment are chasing shadows.
Ball should have been rotated as well if we take a look. Looks like Cykul actually stayed pretty close to Red Room. Surprised to see that. I think there was probably a rotate opportunity all the way through music. In the end, they're not going to take advantage of that. 3 dead, though, so they're playing it well anyway. 86 on the board. Only 14 points to go to close this one out. Make it 12 to close out the whole series.
You want to hear a ridiculous stat line? Cykul is 23-8. He's only died 8 times so far in 2 rounds of oddball. That is absolutely ridiculous. As he finds more, Suppress will get another, and then bonk! That'll do it for the win. Suppress will get the final kill. He'll get the final seconds. And then that will mean Shopify Rebellion will close this series out in a 3-0 fashion. They sweep aside Complexity.
Fantastic halo from Shopify Rebellion. Even the route that Cykul takes there, where while he's going along pillars, he goes to B stairs for a second, back to pillars, down driveway. Little moments like that tell you that they're just movement, the timing, the execution. It's perfect from Shopify. They're looking strong once again. It's a 3-0 result.
Yeah, so I think the most impressive thing from Shopify there is a lot of people would have been seeing that series against Complexity seeing what Complexity did yesterday as a potential banana skin in the bracket, when you look at some of the other games that have happened, some of the other upsets we've seen going on, the game 5s, but business is all that Shopify Rebellion were about in that series. There was just it never felt like Complexity were really in it. It was just ruthless, consistent, devastating Halo at times from them. It's a 3-0 and it felt like a 3-0.
It really did. I'm glad you said it. It felt like a 3-0. Not every 3-0 is as dominant as this one. Certainly not this weekend. We haven't seen a lot of that. This time, though, Shopify Rebellion comes out as the better team, and Complexity met their match in the winner's bracket. There will be a lot more Halo for them to play, though, of course.
Yeah, just great stuff from Shopify Rebellion. Again, it's what we expect to see from them. And now, again, the conversation will continue to develop about where they're going to end up in this tournament. There's already seems like there's some weaknesses in our top teams. We've seen some crazy results, or maybe it's just not weaknesses in the top teams, but the rest of the teams raising their game a little bit. So there's an opportunity for Shopify Rebellion to do something a little bit special here in SLC, and they will know it more than anyone. For Complexity, though, it means that they've got to go down to that elimination bracket, and they've got to keep themselves going. And while they do, we're going to actually go down to our main stage. Blaze has a member of Shopify Rebellion with him, and it's going to be mental.